Rhea Ripley takes hilarious shot Liv Morgan after pinning WWE rival at Saturday night's main event. Hello guys. Welcome to my channel, I am Elena. Have a nice day. For the latest news update, please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. Rhea Ripley pinned Liv Morgan at Saturday night's main event to successfully defend the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. Ripley took a hilarious dig at Morgan on social media after the match. Ripley and anoa'i Sky had their first title defense on Saturday in Montreal, Canada, against Judgment Day's Morgan and Roxanne Perez. Despite help from Raquel Rodriguez, Rio overcame the numbers game with help from the returning Stephanie Vaquer. The Eradicator hit her Riptide powerbomb on Morgan to earn the victory for her team. She would later post an image of herself pinning her longtime rival with her signature pin pose. Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan have a storied rivalry. Morgan famously stole everything from Ripley, starting with Dominic Mysterio, the Judgment Day, and the Women's World Championship. The two have since moved on from their feud, but they crossed paths again involving the WWE Women's Tag Team title. Ripley and anoa'i Sky are on a high, while Morgan and Roxanne Perez return to the back of the line. Julia and Kiana James are the next challengers for the titles after winning a triple threat match last Friday on SmackDown. They defeated Lash legend and Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair to become the #1 contenders. anoa'i Sky explains her chemistry with Rhea Ripley. There's no denying that anoa'i is an unlikely pairing due to how different Rhea Ripley and anoa'i Sky are in almost every aspect of pro wrestling. Sky shared with Chris Van Vliet on Insight last October why their chemistry is off the charts despite their differences. I think so, because she has muscle. I'm running fast. I'm so small, but I can flip, and she's not a flipping person. Like so much the opposite. So that's why I think we have great chemistry. Sky said opposites do attract. So it's not surprising that a team like Ripley and Sky works so well. It will be interesting to see if they're going to enter WrestleMania 42 as tag team champions or challenging for singles titles. 3. WWE stars Triple H rooneyed at Saturday night's main event, setback. In Montreal, Saturday night's main event, XY23 saw Triple H's booking decisions raise eyebrows as Liv Morgan, Randy Orton, Damian Priest were all seemingly buried. The outcomes have sparked debate about their future roles heading into Royal Rumble, WrestleMania. Damian Priest, a former World Heavyweight Champion, was the third star to be buried. In the same Fatal 4-Way, Priest was the one pinned after Sami Zayn's hell of a kick. Many questioned why Priest was chosen to take the fall when Trick Williams could have been used instead. The booking suggests WWE may not see Priest in the title picture for WrestleMania 42. His lack of strong positioning on SmackDown has already been noted, and this result further fuels speculation that Triple H has moved on from him. The 14-time WWE champion Randy Orton was also seemingly buried in Montreal. Fans anticipated the Viper would win the Fatal 4-Way and advance to Royal Rumble 2026 for a clash with Drew McIntyre. Instead, Orton was booked to lose despite delivering the standout performance of the night. His experience and pedigree made him the most logical winner, yet Triple H's decision denied him another title opportunity. Orton has not competed in a championship match since facing John Cena at Backlash in May 2025, and this latest setback has left supporters frustrated. Liv Morgan was the first to suffer at Saturday night's main event, XY23. Teaming to challenge for the tag titles against Rhea Ripley and anoa'i Sky. Morgan ended up taking the decisive pinfall after Ripley's Riptide. This was her first major match since returning at Survivor Series, War Games 2025. But instead of a triumphant comeback, she was booked to lose. The decision has raised questions about whether Triple H has lost faith in Morgan. as many expected Roxanne Perez to take the fall instead. For a former women's champion to be positioned this way, it may signal that her time at the top is fading. This was her first major match since returning at Survivor Series, War Games 2025, but instead of a triumphant comeback, she was booked to lose. The decision has raised questions about whether Triple H has lost faith in Morgan, as many expected Roxanne Perez to take the fall instead. For a former women's champion to be positioned this way, it may signal that her time at the top is fading. Rhea Ripley and anoa'i Sky retained WWE Women's Tag Team Championship against Liv Morgan and anoa'i Sky. Rhea Ripley and anoa'i Sky defended the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship against Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez tonight at Saturday night's main event in Montreal. A very good tag match which ended with Rhea Ripley pinning Liv Morgan to retain the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. Rhea Ripley and anoa'i Sky will now defend the titles against Julia and Kiana James next. 3 WWE stars Triple H buried at Saturday night's main event, Sly, turned out to be a low-key affair for the WWE fans. The event saw no title change or any big surprise whatsoever. The opening match of the night between Cody Rhodes and Jacob Fatu couldn't officially start, and it ended in chaos with Drew McIntyre laying out both men in the anoa'i. In the second bout, Rhea Ripley and anoa'i Sky managed to retain their WWE Tag Team titles against Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez, with some outside assistance from a returning Stephanie Vacker. The third fall of the night saw AJ Styles conquer Shinsuke Nakamura in a decent match. And in the final fatal four-way clash, Sami Zayn emerged victorious against Trick Williams, Randy Orton, and Damian Priest. The event, however, turned out to be a nightmare for a few superstars who literally had to eat the pinfall. Therefore, in this listicle, we will list 3 superstars who were buried by Triple H at WWE SNME. Liv Morgan was the first superstar to be seemingly buried by Triple H at SNME. The Miracle Kid was out there to win the tag team titles from Rhea Ripley and anoa'i Sky, but she instead had to bite the dust once again. Morgan was the one who took the pinfall in the match from Rhea Ripley after being hit by a devastating riptide. She recently made her WWE return at Survivor Series, War Games 2025, and since then, this was her first big match at a WWE event. However, the Judgment Day member ended up on the losing side and took the pinfall. It also raises questions about whether Triple H has given up on Liv Morgan, as he could have booked Roxanne Perez to take the pinfall. Being a younger member in the squad, it made more sense for the Prodigy to take the pinfall rather than a former women's champion doing it. This might be a signal from Hunter to Liv Morgan that her days as the top women's superstar might be over now. 14-time, WWE Champion Randy Orton. Randy Orton was also seemingly buried at SNME in Montreal, Canada. It was expected to be a night for the Viper, as the fans expected him to win the Fatal 4-Way match and go on to the Royal Rumble 2026 to face Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. However, the Apex Predator was once again booked to lose. Orton was the most predictable winner in this match, as the 14-time WWE Champion carried the maximum expertise and experience. In fact, his performance was the best in the entire match, but Triple H seemingly made a poor decision by booking Randy Orton to lose. The Legend Killers clash against Drew McIntyre at Royal Rumble 2026 would have been great though. Orton last faced John Cena for the undisputed title on May 10th, 2025 at Backlash. Since then, he hasn't competed in any title match. Triple H not only buried Damian Priest at SNME, but it seems that Hunter has given up on the Archer of Infamy. Priest hasn't had a top booking on SmackDown despite being a former World Heavyweight Champion. In tonight's Fatal 4-Way match, Damian Priest was the one who took the pinfall after getting a hell of a kick from Sami Zayn. It, quote, is unclear why WWE booked Damian Priest to get the pinfall when Trick Williams would have been perfect for the job. By getting Priest to eat the pinfall, maybe Triple H wants to send a signal that they don't see Damian Priest in the title picture at WrestleMania 42. It will be interesting to see how the promotion books him in the next few months, especially at WrestleMania 42. Chaos and comebacks define women's tag title clash at SNME. The match between Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez at SNME suffered from the return of a WWE star. Click here and know all about it. The match between Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez at SNME suffered from the return of a WWE star. Morgan and Perez were scheduled to compete against WWE Women's Tag Team Champions Rhea Ripley and anoa'i Sky for the tag titles at SNME. The two teams have been at loggerheads for some time now, and Morgan has been pursuing the titles ever since she made her return. Morgan and Perez dominate early before Ripley turns the tide. The match began with both teams exchanging control until Morgan and the Prodigy succeeded in isolating Sky to defeat her, which they used to pursue an easy victory. The fight changed when Sky, after enduring severe damage, successfully executed a hot tag to the Eradicator, who took complete control of the match. The match appeared to end with Morgan and Perez winning after receiving an assist. Chaos erupts, just as Ripley and Sky appear set for victory. Rhea Ripley controlled the match and performed the Riptide move on the Prodigy. anoa'i Sky had been tagged in by her before she executed the move, which she used to defeat Perez with a moonsault for the victory. The referee was about to count to 3 when Raquel Rodriguez entered the scene and pulled Ripley, who fell onto the referee, which caused him to be disabled. Retribution arrives as Stephanie Vaquer disrupts Rodriguez. Rodriguez used the circumstances to defeat the champions while the Judgment Day team appeared to win until Stephanie Vaquer interrupted the match. La Primera had been taken out on the January 12th episode of Raw by Rodriguez and had revenge on her mind. Fans celebrate Vaquer's return as Rijo emerged victorious. The Women's World Champion defeated Rodriguez to create an equal match, which enabled Rijo to win the fight. Fans were pleased to witness La Primera return after a brief period away from the sport. But they must now wait to see how her storyline with Raquel Rodriguez will progress.